Hi, I'm EJ Works, and this is
Joanie,
and we're discussing our progress with Nano, which sadly for me, nothing. Our household people have been sick. Joanie had been sick before Thursday when we did our first video. I was starting to get sick, and then Friday and Saturday worked. And after work, I was supposed to go. We were going to go to our first write-in for Nano, and with our local group, but
we just kind of decided not to because one, I didn't want to get other people sick, and she was just exhausted from work and stuff. So hopefully we'll get to go, and then not this Saturday, but next Saturday or something like that.
Yeah, because I think the next one is
they do
in a week.
They do every Saturday in Grand Blanc.
It's every
same
Saturday,
place, same time. So one of these Saturdays we'll make it over there.
Yeah. So been sick. I haven't made much progress. I haven't made any progress. I'll correct that.
As far as work,
I had to make a new Nano account. I thought my old one was still good, but apparently I made it with an email address I don't use anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I actually had to start completely from scratch. I really didn't remember how the website worked.
Oh,
it had been so long, and so I was just basically home all weekend. So after Friday and Saturday, I was just home all weekend trying to get used to the website and collecting more information and doing research for my story. And whenever I was feeling well enough to focus on the story, it hasn't been writing so much as prep work because the 2 weeks that I had leading into November, originally I wasn't thinking about doing it for November. It was just a story idea that came to me, and I was trying to write down notes and that typical process for me when I get a new story idea. And then I think it was a week or 4 or 5 days before November, then I was telling Joanie about it.
Oh. Well, when you decided, hey, let's do the competition, it was like literally the day before November.
But I mean, I remember telling you about the story, and
right.
you suggested I do it for Nano. And so I was thinking about it, and then, the day before November, I was like, let's do this bet. Let's do some YouTube videos together and challenge each other. And so we finally did decide on what our bet's going to be about.
Mm-hmm.
So each one of us has picked a book from the other person's shelf.
These are high stakes people.
So if I finish my novel before Joanie finishes hers, I get
a higher word count.
Or has the higher word count. Well, are we doing higher word count or closer? Because I said mine has 20 chapters.
Yeah, okay, now you're changing it, because before I said specifically when you said word count. So now you're changing it, because I said, well, that doesn't seem fair. But yeah, okay, we'll do by closer to whose novel's finished.
Because I said 20 chapters. She says hers is going to be 26 chapters. Mm-hmm. My first draft, I was guessing mine was going to take about 40,000 words. Maybe the 50,000. I wasn't really sure.
Mine would definitely be closer to the 60,000.
And so hers is higher either way.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But anyway, if I were to win, I get this book off of Joanie's shelf. It's called King John and the Road by Stephen Church. And this is a historical record on the life of Prince John and when he became king and the Magna Carta. And then should Joanie win, I actually put this down, she gets,
no, I think, or Abby, this is like one of my favorite novels. I've read this one at least 4 or 5 times, cover to cover, not including the time I listened to it on an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it's kind of fitting because this one, Jane Austen was very tongue-in-cheek, and she was kind of mocking some of the pop culture, basically their version of Mary Sue in her day with Catherine Morland. And in a lot of ways, that kind of fits the story I'm working on now. So it was real quick.
Yeah, Jane Austen was a fan of the Gothic romance, but you could be a fan of something and still recognize the flaws within it.
I mean,
and so,
fun of certain tropes.
Who can make fun of something better than the people who love it? I mean, come on. And so, yeah, Joanie comes from that same perspective on her current project.
So I just felt like, yeah, that would definitely be fitting.
I just picked the one. I do like history books, but I particularly picked that one because Joanie had just said when I was browsing her shelf that was her favorite. And so I was just wanting to pick something to really up the ante.
Because she was mad that I picked a Jane Austen
I have all 5 of Jane Austen books. They're not in any particular matching set. I just randomly collected them over the years. And I don't want to.
She was so happy the day she completed her set.
Yeah, I don't want to have to buy another Northanger Abbey book or another Jane Austen novel, unless I could find all 6 of them together and buy a really pretty set. I don't plan on buying more copies. Right. Okay, so I wanted to end stuff with a question.
We didn't get our word counts, did we?
Oh, my word count, basically nada. I forgot you hadn't said yours. I'm sorry.
2,000. Wait a second. I went to sleep. 2,328 words.
And you wrote all those in one day or 2 days?
Spread out between 3.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this first week has not been productive. No. Not the greatest amount of productivity for us.
As far as the writing goes, I had so much other stuff I had to catch up on because I was sick.
But yeah, she had been sick. I was sick. And then, so I'm going to be playing catch up the rest of this week and next week. I'm basically deciding not to work on Betting on Love at all this month.
Yeah, that's a wise choice.
I really wanted to, though, because I feel bad about starting a new project and not working on that. But if I can get into the rhythm, I'm hoping to maybe work on it next month. The process is different, and so what they need is different. I have enjoyed looking at the YouTube videos on here and seeing how other people, whether they're doing NaNoWriMo or they had general prep videos, it was talking about Preptober or recent projects they just finished and their experiences with it and everything. And just seeing how different people work. And so you have people who are extreme pantsers, they don't even have a clue what genre their next project's going to be on. They just know November 1st, they're going to sit down at a keyboard and just go at it. And then you have the other extreme of every single chapter and scene and the emotions that's going to be in that scene is all pre-planned. And I'm somewhere, I thought I was a really planner, but I'm thinking I'm more towards the middle now. But I like to have my character sheets. I like to have an outline, and I went through the first chapter and I basically was fleshing out those scenes. And that's the most I've done was just fleshing out that first chapter and then trying to figure out a certain problem it doesn't really affect the first couple of chapters, but I want to have it resolved. That way I'm introducing the character in the right spot.
Foreshadowing and things like that.
Right, exactly. And so that's kind of what I wanted to ask people today. We have a few people who subscribed and are viewing our videos, which I appreciate. And I just want to know, what is your process? Where do you fall along the line of planning and pantsing? I think you're even more detailed in planning than I am.
It depends on, honestly, it really depends on the project. Because,
every project is different.
Yeah, this one in particular, because it's a 15-year-old one that I'm revamping.
The mediums have changed twice.
No.
Just the one time. Okay.
The medium's changed from doing comic into novel form or a light novel, but it's so different. So, where before, I could leave a lot of details blank for the artist, and we would talk about style, tone, and things like that, and then they could build the world visually. And so it wasn't always necessary in the script form of the story. Where, you know, of course, as a novel, since I'm the one building it for the reader, then I really have to go back and be more precise about things.
Mm-hmm.
And just like the world building itself needed a lot more work. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the stories I'd sit down and write a lot, and then in the editing is when I like totally revamp and actually plan, and then the second draft is a lot more detailed.